Wow, welcome everybody to the first ever global NAS event by MEF, and to my knowledge, it's the only NAS event ever to have been held in the industry. But I suspect there'll be many more, and not just by MEF and maybe others. But thank you for coming. It's great to see everybody here. We got an awesome lineup of speakers, participants here today. I'm just going to take a few minutes to kick things off. So who is here? Well, as you can see from the, if you've looked at the agenda online and so on, we've got an amazing group of industry thought leaders around this space, decision makers, folks that are making decisions about automation, APIs, services, and so on and so forth, and many of you that are really doing the work and influencing and making it all happen. So just a really, and that was one of the objectives we have, is to bring the right community around this space together. And the types of folks that are here, they have business backgrounds, they may own an entire business unit for your company, product people, commercial people, technical people, marketing. I'm sure I'm missing sales, missing others as well. What I didn't show here are the types of companies, I probably should have done that, that are represented. And it's really around the ecosystem that we're trying to build here. Obviously, we have service providers from tier 1, 2, 3, wholesale, retail, mid-mile providers. We have NAS platform providers. We've got the technology community out that are both traditional technology players, the big players. We've got the OSS, BSS companies. We've got aggregators. We've got system integrators. We have enterprise represented. And I'm sure I've missed one or two flavors of companies, but if I have, I apologize very much. And when we set out to build this event, we really wanted to kind of make sure we hit the key themes around network as a service. And so you'll see, if you look at the day 2 and day 3, and if you look at the detailed agenda, it really flows around, starting with NAS, the role of digital transformation, the opportunities, challenges. We're going to hear that from different perspectives. They're starting to look at the evolution of how we see the evolution of NAS services, the ecosystem, the automation of the services, and so on. Now, we chose to have a kind of a pure event yesterday around LSO. We have over 135 companies that are in our pipeline to implement LSO APIs. And we built on some little mini events that we've done at MEF meetings over the last few years. So we put together the LSO Global Summit. I want to thank Daniel Barlev, who's here. He put the summit together, put the agenda together, the topics, and organized it. And our well-known principal analyst, Stan Hubbard, who drove the agenda and coordination of days 2 and 3. So I think you'll see the themes well represented here today. And of course, the speakers are fantastic with the executive keynotes, executive presentations, panels, and so on and so forth. In terms of the agenda, we have the main conference program going from 9 to 4, and of course we'll have breaks and we'll have a lunch break. We have lots of networking time after, and that's something that's become really important at MEF events. Buyers and sellers, people looking at technology providers, they want time outside the conference time here today to really sit down and have meetings. And before we get into the themes that I mentioned, you're going to hear really the MEF perspectives on this whole thing. You're going to hear Nan talking about, why are we looking at the NAS topic? Why is MEF leading this? Pascal is going to come in and provide a top-down view of our strategy and essentially launch what is our new industry blueprint for network as a service. And after 4 o'clock, we have, when that ends, we have, as I said, the networking time. We have the Accelerator Live feature, which is where the LSO Global Summit, and those are accelerator projects involving MEF members, kind of POC-like things that are projects going on in MEF that essentially present certain use cases of forward-looking things we might be doing, and teams come together. I think we have about a dozen companies involved with 4. And all 4 accelerators will be presented 30 minutes each sequentially, and we're going to do the same thing on the next day. We've got a drinks reception starting at 5:30, and we have the Excellence Awards dinner starting at 7 o'clock tonight. You do need tickets. There's a few left, I'm told. You can ask at the Reg desk if you're interested. The agenda is on the app, so I would recommend you do that. You can go to gne.mef.net, or you can get it from the stores directly. You can with the QR codes here, either way. And you can, all of the attendees that have registered on the app are there, so if you want to use it for networking and so on, that's what it's there for. Have to thank the sponsors. You know, some of the sponsors here have been with us for so many years, like AT&T and Verizon and Console Connect and Lumen and so on, and others. Thank you to our diamonds and our platinums and all of you. And I know that when we went into this thing, most of you didn't, if not all of you, didn't have this in your budget coming to this year, and you found it to be here supporting us. And these are great companies, not only support this event, but have supported MEF for many years. Some of them are newer, some of them not. Also, historically, you know, we've had a long, you know, we have a good relationship with the press and the analyst community. At some of our previous pre-COVID events, one of the highlights was the strength of the press community that had out, the ability for you to meet them. So thank you to those folks that are here, that come and that are, you know, placing articles and so on. Our analyst partners are a really important part of our strategy to communicate our work. They're here today. They help us judge the awards. They listen to us when we want to make press releases and so on. So we have a great group of analysts. And these are the analysts, of course, that are relevant to this space, right? And so all of these folks are keen on the topic, and I would encourage you to reach out to them if you can. Now, our format has kind of 4 segments, you know, morning and afternoon, tomorrow, you know, today and tomorrow. And the analysts are actually going to be emceeing, so I don't have to do that. Stan doesn't have to do it as we used to do. And our first MC for this morning is Erin Dunne, no stranger to most of you, Director of Research for Vertical Systems. So with that, I'm going to invite Erin to come to the stage, take over from me, and run the show. I hope you guys have a great event today, tomorrow. Oh, by the way, I hope you enjoyed the outdoor function for those of you last night. I'm feeling the extra brisket I shouldn't have eaten, but it was good anyway. I billed it in advance last week about the barbecue stuff that was going on. I was worried it wasn't going to live up to it, but just kidding. Anyway, Erin, come on up, and I'm going to hand it over to you.